Nice that we can find this out on stream. But previous bans, Lion, Ash, Clash, and Smoke. Obviously, Lion and Clash we just expect to go. As we said, both these teams throughout the entire tournament are pretty much 100% ban rated, those two. I'm expecting this to be the same.
Yeah, so I'm just going to see Lion come out here again. I'd be kind of surprised if Nip banned out the Smoke again, but then again, not too out there. Although this should be very much into the favor of FaZe Clan here. This is an attacker-sided map. FaZe Clan do love a bit of coastline. We've seen them play it quite a lot over the tournament, of course. Yeah,
I mean, we've seen them play it well as well. Obviously, they are attacking first. Thermite is taken off the board here. FaZe do not want to play with Thermite, and now it's their defender's choice. And again, I feel like this is going to be the clash. As you said, I don't think it's going to be the Smoke. I think Smoke on this map compared to the Smoke on Oregon is two very different levels of smoke control and two different levels of importance. Potentially the Mirror here, but also Nip have often taken Echo out.
Yeah, we have seen Echo taking out here, but it's going to be the Valkyrie coming out from Nip, which actually is a very, very fair ban coming out because FaZe, especially Astro, runs quite a lot of Valkyrie here, and they like to play off that very aggressively during their defenses. So we'll see how that goes through, and see FaZe Clan start out on the attack here as we move into round number 1 on Coastline.
Now that does mean, obviously, Mirror is on the board as well as Echo and as well as Maestro and obviously Penthouse Theater. And this is one of those points where if you have a Mirror, especially, it becomes a lot easier to control, a lot easier to defend. When she's taken off the board, which she often is, so they haven't even chosen her yet, I'm assuming she'll be 6th picked, but I could be completely wrong. When she's taken off the board, a lot of the times they rotate towards Billiards as the first point instead. But it seems like they potentially want a Penthouse without her.
If this is the operator lineup and it stays like this, it's going to be a very interesting round because look at what you got from the attackers. You have Zofia, Buck, Finker, Blitz, and Habana. That's a beautiful combos there coming, especially based on top of that Finker, with no smoke coming out from Nip at all to counter that, really. So there's a lot of shield play that could come through. The first time we've actually seen a shield so far this series, which is kind of surprising considering we do have the shield master himself, Julio, in this match. We're going to see how it goes through as we do move into round number 1. But also just look at the defender lineup as well. Seeing PZD, Psycho, and Kamikaze all bringing ththose ACOGs along, as well as WAG, actually, as well. So 4 ACOGs.
4 ACOGs. It does give you ruminations about how this round might go down. With the 4 ACOG loadout, obviously they also have the Maestro and the Echo. That is very good information gathering potential, but for all the talk I was doing about how influential Mirror can be on this point when you have her in play, they've opted to go against her. I'm interested to see where Alibi, or how they're going to play their Alibi here.
I think the Alibi mostly is being used here as a bit of a delay strategy, but PZD running the Pro 90 ACOG, going to go for the prone angle there on Lamborghini doorway, but unable to find a kill just yet. He's going to rotate up to the white stairs. That is a very aggressive pull coming from PZD.
They knew he was there. Very quickly, you can see the bullets go, and he kind of laid down, opened the hole, and the bullets came, and he went, oh, nope, I'm not going to stick around here. But they have the DJ balcony windows open as well. Bullets are starting to fire across, and we talk about, obviously, the potential defender aggression here with that man of ACOGs and these firefights that they're going to be trying to pick against FaZe. But FaZe are no spring chickens, no sir. They are going to very much be aware of this strategy. They're going to be very much, kind of, as you said, they're a team that loves firefights. They love to play into firefights and bait into firefights as well. So where this showdown kind of comes down on this map, I'm kind of still trying to work it out. I think we're going to see a lot of over generally this corridor. You can see them all kind of worried about it. Mav is taking point here, trying to clear across, instantly suffers at the hands of the Maestro. An impact grenade. They're trying to shut down Mav straight away. Can't get the Maestro.
Mav already so lit up here, but Kamikaze going to be also lit up. But Astros, that's going to finish him off. Nades are going to go out. It's going to successfully destroy the Maestro cam. I'm pretty sure here. No, it's not actually. Oh, it's going to miss, but the second one does manage to hit and successfully destroys it. Kamikaze and his Maestro cam both successfully off the board. That is very good news for FaZe.
And you can see Nipper starting to try to push back. They don't want to give away corridor control just yet, but they generally know that the push is coming against the theater side, or at least they should do. They saw how much aggression and utility is being thrown to clear off those Maestro cams. Obviously, Blitz was the first point of contact. And here come the Habana charges, going to open up the south hallway wall and give them a pretty straight, that is a doorway opening they've got. Obviously, Thermite is taken off the board, just replacing with all your Habanas. That'll do. Moringa has rotated a little bit, gets hit by the Echo Drone of WAG, and the firefight of ACOX has started in this corridor. PZD just caught the end of the head there, but did not fire, and there is 50 seconds to start putting some pressure. They do still have this Blitz, who is moving straight to that hole, though, as Astro drops Psycho, and Mav finds Julia, and Yuna finds PZD.
That's going to leave it all into the hands of WAG. Does manage to take the head off of Astro, but moves in here. It's a 4v1 situation. Not looking too good for him because, of course, we've still got the Blitz on the board here. He's going to go for the 3-fire, so he can find a gap between the bomb and himself, but you see the Blitz is going to be clunking around behind him. WAG is just going to try and drop onto the main lobby to see what he can do there. He's expecting the Blitz to try and chase after him. Oh, it does! Oh no, what's just happened? WAG scores a double kill and doesn't manage to get traded out at all for it. Just retreats back a little bit, reloads. It's going to be Kamikaze who moves, sorry, Cameraman who moves through. WAG takes him down. He's turned this into a 1v1. There's so much potential for a clutch to happen here. He's going to try and push up onto White Stairs, trying to go for those pre-fires. Desperately trying to find what is going to happen here and sees if he can move through. Desperately trying to find this kill onto Moringa. Moves through, does see the diffuser flashbang. New guys just going to try and stick the plant, but Moringa just moves through, does deny him, takes him down. Moringa takes down WAG, and FaZe Clan take round number 1. Very, very close round, and almost a beautiful clutch from WAG. Played insanely smartly as well.
Oh yeah, the moment where he dropped down and waited, that was like Home Alone level trap. That was amazing. He was ready and anticipated. Unfortunate to not get the knife on the first attempt, but obviously did get a heck of a lot of ground won back there. Almost an ace clutch.
Almost. Smoke, but no cigar, unfortunately, there for WAG on the Echo. We'll see how Nip hold onto this as we're going to move to a kitchen service entrance defense, which does tend to be one of the default sites being brought recently, especially when you're not running a mirror.
Yeah, for sure. As I was saying before the first round, obviously billiards and kitchen, they seem to be the two kind of go-tos. And don't get me wrong, there's still places to play mirror, especially on kitchen where you kind of have the overlook of service entrance, but these guys just don't want to run it at all. Obviously bringing Capcan instead, it seems like they're going for a few kind of lesser seen picks and strategies that we've seen across this tournament. They're trying to take FaZe by surprise, but at the same time, FaZe are locking the same lineup they had before. They've got the Blitz again to try and take point, and we saw immediately how aggressive that Blitz was being until they came across the devilish Evil Eye that just started zapping them in the back and stopped that run. And then obviously it's a bit of grenade trading, but so effective. It's so good at shutting down, and we always talk about how well certain regions play certain operators and styles, and if there is a region that can define how a shield can be run, normally it's LATAM.
Definitely. It is LATAM. It's one of those areas. We'll see how he does go through. As we're seeing, Ninja's Pyjamas going to be holding down onto the kitchen service entrance. We're going to see the camp cannon for the first time this series as well. So a lot of new things coming out here.
Now, obviously, this is a point where you generally want to hold at least a fair bit of vertical control. We've seen it used very well to shut down across that service entrance. Just being able to get the door from underneath. And again, the window of kitchen can be locked down here as well. It seems like they're going for those ACOG early picks there. Psycho waiting, but is droned out in hookah and going to have to pull back via the cool. Oh no, not going to go via cool vibes. He's going to go and try and pick someone going for the push there, which to be fair is a smart move, and they've now got to try to just clear that out and shut it down. Cameraman is going in with the buck again to try to get that vertical control and wrench it out of Nip's hands.
Located by attackers.
Trying to get the vertical control indeed. We'll see how it goes down, and we'll see exactly how FaZe want to go about this, as this Blitz from Map has found the weirdest corners every single time across the entire of OGA. He's been pretty good at solo pushing as well so far.
Blitz is one of those operators that even the best in the world struggle in 1 versus 1. But here is Blitz down with some beautiful teamwork. Pushed back by the firefight. Didn't know Kamikaze was there, and the impact drops it, but obviously has no idea. And the Finker picks that Blitz back up. So thanked Finker there, because they were getting ready to start pushing and trying to regain that, and that could have been a very big loss. Plenty of time to go for a reset as well.
Beautiful use of the Finker there from FaZe coming out, and as he will trying to get control of the VIP here, as Julia going to be playing around behind the reception desk, trying to see if he can get a quick peek, and just head glitches out to try and get a kill onto Astro, I believe, outside, but oh! Why just gonna peek it out? All the way from the service entrance door, just go for the run out. Takes down Astro with a headshot and turns into a 4v5. Not looking too good for FaZe now.
No, this is just said. We commented this map is one that FaZe are normally pretty great on. They seem to be struggling to find this round, however. And before, to be fair, in the previous map, it was very much round, back and forth. Kamikaze looking like they're struggling again, unfortunately. We'll see if they can hold on connection-wise. But Julio is starting to close down towards the kitchen window. They have a minute left. Blitz has not been reset. They're just going to try and keep pushing the Blitz through from the Sunrise Blue Bar side of kitchen. But in fact, no. Blitz is going to rotate out and try and push around the other way. Try and just close down something. They've forgone trying to get full vertical control now.
And they have indeed. Let's see how it goes through. As we'll see, Finger Buff is going to come out from Uno, just potentially going to go for the drop here, as Mav going to make his way through onto the cantina. Just try and come through onto the kitchen window. See lots of vertical play moving up, but the ADS coming down from Mav is going to get shut down immediately from Julio. The cameraman is going to find out one in return. There goes PZD. The Finger Buff slowly going to be running out. 3v4. Kamikaze just goes for the crouch peek all the way through. Takes down Moringa. Cameraman goes down to Psycho. And now left all into the hands of Uno. Drops down into the courtyard. Takes down Psycho. But instantly traded out there by Julio. Nip take round number 2 in a very spread out defense.
Yeah, it just seemed like they wanted to take the fight to FaZe, and FaZe looked like they never really got comfortable. They never really got ground on that map where they were sure of themselves. And obviously we saw how low Blitz got by themselves very quickly. There wasn't any return. There wasn't any pick up against that immediately. And again, it struggles, or it makes you struggle when you're the attackers and you're not confident in your control.
When you have a spread out defense like that, it is very easy to force the attackers to also be very, very spread out. And we saw that quite a lot from FaZe then. We saw a solo Blitz pushing. We saw the solo Astra and Zofia pushing onto the Lamborghini doorway and just so suffering to run-outs and flanks and 2v1s. And so much of that just happened for FaZe, and their entire attack got picked apart because of it. But we're going to move through into round number 3 here. It's going to be a Blue Bar Sunrise Bar defense for Nip.
So Mira bought for the first time today. Castle is being picked up as well in Blue and Sunrise, as you said. It'd be interesting to see. Again, obviously, we talked about their kind of aggression and how they picked them apart and pushed them apart. But this is a site where you can normally get fairly immediate access, especially against Sunrise Bar from the kind of hookah and from the corner side there.
Mira, the first time on this map.
First time on this map, yeah. That's what I meant.
Yes. But you are right, yeah, like the whole mirror usage here, definitely very important.
Yeah, it's one of those operators that it gives you so much on a lot of these points in the map. And often on any points, Mirror was the revolutionary up, the one that kind of changed how Siege could be played. And obviously what we've talked about since pick ban has come into fruition over this past season as well is a lot of people you'll forget that comfort, and operator comfort comes into it, because a lot of these guys will scrim without certain operators because they feel like, oh, this operator is going to get banned out in most games as well, especially in certain regions where, you know, Lion has however high of a ban rate, Mira has however high of a ban rate, whatever. And Mira is one of those operators where you often see a little bit of mirror rust.
Normally I would agree with that, but this is Nip we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And there's a certain member of Nip who he plays Mirror kind of well. You may know him. It's called Julio.
Julio? Julio. I've heard you mention him a couple times.
Just a couple times.
Just a couple times. Aren't you in charge of the fan club as well?
I may have a fan page.
Member 001 badge, but we can see that Julio, the man of the moment, is holding inside Sunrise. Astro closing down quickly. We've talked about the speed of Zofia players and how confident they are in just to set off from point A to point B and start to try to find frags. Psycho is holding above offices, waiting for someone to push, just hanging around in the aquarium, looking at the fishes. Cameraman is the one that looks like he's going to try to take that fight, and the Claymore is down. It looks like there was someone waiting to push against the back of Astro as well. So they're looking to find those firefights, and that is the corner of contention. So that is where they might struggle with the immediacy of trying to push onto point. But again, they have the echo drones, they have a lot of information, and it looks like they're stacking up against officers for a south push against Blue Bar.
Yeah, looking pretty good for FaZe so far. We contained a lot of this and just moving in, just slowly affecting all the utility. I notice how their attack seems to be much more concentrated this time. They've managed to pick a lot of utility, and we're only halfway into the round.
Yeah, and Psycho has had to rotate off of Aquarium, move over to the other side of the map in Hookah. Kamikaze is there to back up, and as well, PZD has rotated on the opposite side as well. They're trying desperately to hold on to vertical. They've thrown a lot of operators there just in case to catch any rotations and firefights, but FaZe are going on a point A, point B. There goes Astros. Many KS-79 lifelines through to the point, and Buck is generally the only one holding above, waiting for the push. And to be fair, it might come from two different sides. There goes a cooked grenade, beautifully thrown. Does not get any bites, though.
Yeah, it does get caught out by Kamikaze's ADS, so the Nitro is just going to go out and return from Julio, but doesn't find anything just yet. Asho, what? Asho gets the entry pick, but Yuna just rotates all the way in. Julio doesn't even know he's there. Mav gets a double kill. There goes Wag and Kamikaze. Now it's all down to Psycho. Let's see if he can do this. A 5v1, a post-plan situation. Moves all the way through, but doesn't find a single kill. Yuna takes it down, and FaZe Clan take the round flawlessly.
That was very, very effective there from FaZe. They completely just Roman shielded themselves, stacked up, all 5 of them, perfectly took control of officers, and then started to just steadily move across the points, picking off kills as they go. And that's something we've mentioned about FaZe, is they're very confident to move and frag. They're happy to, as you saw, Yuna's pretty out there, pushed there straight through the mirror window. Got lucky that he's kind of looking the wrong way.
I think it was more that Julio didn't even realize he was in a fight until he was dead.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unfortunate, but very well played from FaZe Clan there, moving all the way in, and definitely with a much more concentrated push that time, just straight onto the site and gain control.
Now, Mute, Ella, Mira, maybe Jaeger, and Maestro as they decide up in Hookah Billiards. Again, fairly similar, if not the exact same loadout from FaZe.
We'll see how it goes down. So the Billiards room defense is fairly interesting here without a castle. I'm kind of interested to see how exactly you want to hold this. Normally the castle is the fairly default strat here, just castling out Aquarium and casting out that VIP. But we'll see how it goes down. I am still expecting reinforcers to go onto that VIP wall just because it's such a great angle to deny.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've seen this point held with vision very well before. Valk was often a very big part of how this point was held too. But again, the same cam. I'm kind of curious how they're going to try and lock this off, how they're going to keep control. Often we see, when Mira's off the board, at least, a lot of the teams have kind of thrown a lot of utility into Aquarium and tried to hold that for as long as possible, because that gives you quite a nice bit of control of Billiards without being in immediate danger. But when you've got Mira on the board, we often see teams kind of pull a bit back from Aquarium and just kind of open the wall and give themselves that Mira sideline across everything. Again, we can see Nip. They're generally setting up downstairs. They're underneath this point.
They are underneath this point, of course. They do have a lot of ability to open up those vertical plays. But again, they also have mirror windows on the site. They have a lot of utility on the site as well. But it tends to be one of those sites that you can't really hold too much control over, just because there's no hard breach denial that Nip are really bringing other than the mute, but that's not really too effective in breach denial because it's very easy to get rid of. So that's probably going to allow Habana to just try and open up that back wall easily as that. Oh, wow, I hadn't even thought about doing that, though. It's going to be Kamikaze who puts down a Maestro Cam in the courtyard to stop Habana putting her pellets down onto the back of Billiards.
The old internal-external Maestros.
Yeah, very nicely played from Kamikaze, honestly. Very smart indeed, because that is something that FaZe tend to do quite a lot.
It is a very big wall to get open, but they are starting to close down on windows. They seem to be droning a lot more than running this round. Obviously, the previous couple of rounds, we've seen them push in and get physical control very quickly. Brilliant timing there from Wag to take the frag, but unfortunately, the grenade sails past Wag and drops PZD.
Yeah, PZD just going to catch that frag right into his face. Cameraman takes it down. The cameraman gets fragged out. So, still 4v4 now as FaZe start to move in through onto the luggage, but honestly, not looking too good for Nip. They've lost quite a lot of control early on, and their utility is definitely starting to get affected as well as their roamers.
So we can see they're being spotted there. Jackal is in full use. Yuna on the far side, closing in and pinning them down downstairs. They know Jackal is in here now, obviously just spotted on the cams. The information will be fed. They don't have the echo to be able to rotate around as they've frequently done, and Maestro was not there to start removing those. Obviously, under a little bit of pressure, it seems, drops to his cams at the very end there, but we saw the Habana charges going off. Whether it was enough or not, I guess we'll have to find out, but there is more footsteps. They know Maestro's in a little bit of a tight spot. Maestro goes through a rotation, and it's just a matter of holding angles until FaZe can set themselves up for this push.
Yeah, Mav is going to move all the way in, but what a shot from Mag. WAG even is going to take Mav off the board as Julio peeks it out, takes the headshot onto Moringa, turns it to a 2v4, and through the smoke, Kamikaze takes down Yuna, now all down to Astro in a 1v4. Not looking too good, but Astro does have control of the diffuser, moves all the way through into Officers, takes down Psycho, now it's a 1v3. Is clutchable, but 30 seconds left to go. He has still got quite a lot of utility left in those lifelines. Let's see how he doesn't move on to the balcony, see if he can get a pick from there. Neither of the barricades is going to be open, so he is going to be able to open up one of them and just stun Sophia, charges just straight into the site, but can't find anyone just straight in there. Yeah, he's going to try and move into the bar and see what he can do here, but not looking too good for him, and he will move through. WAG takes him down with a headshot, Nip take round number 4, and even the score but out to a piece.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation there for Astro to be caught in. Obviously, 3 against you. 3 versus 1 is always a tough fight, but when you still need to put in at least a 15-second rotate to be on a plant push position, it makes it even harder. Now we see, though, WAG 8-2 across these 4 rounds.
Doing very well for himself indeed, and this is a lot closer than I thought these attack rounds for FaZe would have been.
Yeah, it's the thing. FaZe so far have just generally been struggling against Nip. Obviously, we talk about FaZe being a very good attacking side. They're ones that enjoys being on the attack. They've been on the attack twice so far, and this could be the second time that they've been 3-2 down at the turn of the half.
It definitely could be. Let's see how it does go down as we move into round number 5. It's going to be the final defense round for Nip as we go back onto that kitchen service entrance, which was really successful for them. I mean, I think it was kind of more about how FaZe attacked this than how Nip defended it, but they played into it very well, and they abused the fact that it was a very spread out attack from FaZe.
Oh yeah, totally. They picked fights all around the map. We saw Astro got taken by a run out because they were locked off in a firefight with someone else. The Blitz was pushed by themselves, almost completely dropped and never really reset on a sliver of health. Nip played this very clever. Obviously, they've gone with a slightly different lineup to what they took last time. They have the Alibi as well. They still have the Psycho. I don't know if he's the P90 Doctor, but he's definitely probably got an ACOG. WAG rolling with an ACOG as well. No Maestro this time round. Again, it'll be interesting to see whether they go for a slightly more locked down defense, or they attempt to break apart FaZe.
We'll see how it goes down as we move further into round number 5's action phase now. Almost exactly how FaZe want to take this during their attack, but this time they're not bringing a shield, so much more concentrated on that fragging role, and I think this is a role that FaZe do a little bit better.
Yeah, they very much can set themselves up for frags. It seems like they're setting themselves up again to generally push all from the same side. They realized their mistake was splitting up too much as they go for a pretty quick push towards Hooker and Sunrise. And Julio is just going to try and hold it for as best as possible. It looks like they are already in blue and offices. Kamikaze is playing above. Mav and Astro are moving quick and fast. Kamikaze is closer to a fight than they think. Obviously, that one reinforced door is going to give them a lot of information. But if Kamikaze tries to break through, instead going to go for the... No, they're going to rotate background. They're not quite sure where they want to go. And Julio is waiting for them to push, but they open straight through, using those lifelines to try to find and close down those firefights. Kamikaze rotates. Julio with the underneath C4 drops cameraman. Beautiful play there. And Julio's just going to play back, and that was fantastic closing down on the executors.
Absolutely amazing Nitro coming up from Julio. Great bit of teamwork coming up with him and WAG. And he is going to get another kill for his time as well. Moringa goes down, Psycho takes down Yuna with a headshot. And now all down to Mab in a 1v5. Look situation. One more adrenal surge, but the Echo Drone is going to hit him. And he's going to try and get the headshot. He does successfully take down Kamikaze. He moves all the way through into blue bar. Still getting pinged out, but PZD from above will take him down. Wait. What?
Yeah, it was through the connecting wall.
Wow, beautiful from PZD. He's going to be open up the wall, takes him down, rotates all the way through courtyard, and it's going to be round number 5 goes to Nip, and they do actually get the advantage here moving into the second half, which, when we talked about, Coastline is an attacker-sided map. Combine that with the fact that FaZe tend to do much better on attack as a team than defense, and this could be a very interesting game now.
For sure, obviously. We had a look at those initial season stats from the very beginning of the stream, and obviously when you looked at Nip, as we said, across the board, statistically they were generally higher rated as individual players. They were a lot of teamwork, and at the same time, FaZe only really had Astro, and he was far and away the top-rated player, but at the same time, if only one of your team has been performing to that caliber, this is when it starts to affect you. When the other team has had the time to kind of have a look at how they can take these maps, have a look at how they can push against you, if you can start shutting them down, it really can affect FaZe.
I think it's more just a difference in playstyle. I mean, you are right that Astro has had a very high KD. He's played very well, but he is on that role of sort of dedicated entry, and FaZe do tend to play around him. That's not necessarily to say that FaZe have been playing badly, but that's just their playstyle. That's just how they sort of work around their teammate. But NiP have a much more flexible playstyle, it seems, and this definitely, as I said during the first map, looks like a NiP that have gone into this match very, very prepared to see exactly what is going down.
Now, they have taken Kitchen as their first point. They have, obviously, Smoke is on the board for the first time today. I don't think we saw any smoke on the previous 5 defensive rounds. They have the Alibi out as well, and we're seeing a lot of Alibi usage, to be fair, slowing down the pushes, slowing down the attacks. They have obviously the Doc, the Maestro as well. And again, you look at Psycho on their buck and you think they're going to go for some vertical control here. Cameraman is looking to pick a fight straight away. PCD has been playing Twitch very well so far, obviously opening up and just cleaning and clearing stuff out. No IQ bought yet, but again, they're very reactionary in how they like to use IQ. They generally use there if it's going wrong, but Kamikaze is waiting and baiting and trying to push against Hookah.
We'll see how it goes then, as we do see lots of rotating coming out from FaZe, but also a lot of vertical play coming out from them as well. As they're going to go for a kitchen service entrance defense, and again, as we say, without a mirror, this is kind of one of your sites that you want to hold down onto, but they have mirror available to them, but they're not actually going to be taking it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Mirror is one of those operators where there are so many places where she can just get you so much more control. She can really just stretch, well, not stretch out your defense, but stretch out your vision, stretch out. And a place like Service Entrance, having a mirror there just grants you a lot of safety towards the point where you don't really have to throw yourself in what is arguably a very dangerous and highly fought corridor. But talking about highly fought corridors, Psycho drops Astro in Hall of Fame. And that was a beautiful take as he got pushed around the rotation by the drone.
And a very important kill coming out as well from NiP as they start to close down on that. And FaZe is going to start to fall apart here, losing their main fragger, but also not getting any trade back. But Yuna is going to be able to get the trade back. PCD going to go down, and Psycho is going to be able to drop into the bathroom to try and get the trade right on back. Move all the way through onto Penthouse and see what he can do.
Now they are obviously waiting to find that firefight. But we just saw the drone game there was brilliant to lead Astro into Hall of Fame. Buck is above, actually just going to play out of there. Not going to waste too much time. Obviously opening that does give you the issue of you might get caught from behind or just from the front as Map shoots down Psycho. Wag is going to go for the entrance here, gets hit by the Legion. The smoke comes out as well, going for a further rotate just to pull that Legion out there in a very hard spot. And there are people either side. There goes Moringa's push and drops Wag.
Beautiful push coming out from Moringa, and this is very reminiscent to what we saw during FaZe's attack. Right now, it's going to be FaZe in a 4v2. Now looking pretty good to try and close this in. 30 seconds left to go on the clock. There is still utility here from NiP to try and bring through, especially in the form of Capital bots that ought to have gone down a little bit sooner there, I suppose, but we'll see how it goes down. If Julio could try and recover this a little bit as Kamikaze tries to recover the diffuser.
Now you can see that they're struggling to find their way on the push. Gonna just smoke that. Only 15 seconds, so not a huge amount of time to bring this towards their favor. And Mav and Yuna getting some frags there, saving the life of one of their teammates. Yuna pushing out of bar. You could see they were waiting for that. They were stacked up, they were waiting, and that was a very hard retake, or a take even, for NiP to pull out.
Really hard to try and recover that diffuser once it's down right in the
yeah.
middle of the site. Great push coming up from Moringa. Should have maybe had... I don't know. It kind of seemed like NiP gained that vertical control and then just didn't do anything at all with it. They could have opened up a little bit, put the Capital bolts down on the rotate and go for the plant anyway. But then again, they didn't really have too much control to start with. Let's see how it does go through as we move into round number 7. And it has managed to even scope it out yet again, 3 apiece. And it's going to be a blue bar sunrise bar defense for FaZe.
Now, obviously, Rook is being brought to the table. Echo is being swapped out for Castle for this blue bar. And you did comment before, seeing a Castle on this point would have been nice previously, because he is very solid on this point.
yeah, this point and the point above it as well. Billiards, really, really good for that indeed. We'll see how it goes down. I'm interested to see where Cameraman's castles go down, so we'll see what that is. And Julio going to bring the first Montaigne of the series.
Monty. Now, we've seen Monty used a couple of different ways, actually, on Coastline. We saw some very wide area control with Monty. I believe it might have been from Liquid. We're generally running Monty as they were roam clearing with Monty and pushing right around the map and then pushing all the way back and just locking up. And then at the same time, we've seen the old-fashioned Monty direct to point, especially on a point like this where you can kind of start entering from that northwest side. As long as you're confident that your team has a bit of vertical and you don't just get dropped from above, it just allows you to start taking ground or making Moringa use those smoke canisters. Then you look at Astros on the field as Lesion. It's a hard push there for a Montaigne. Montagne, sorry. I get called out on my pronunciation. The Mountain. The man, the myth, the French legend.
We'll see how it goes down, as we do see FaZe could be holding down to Sunrise and Blue Bar. But this tends to be a fairly top-heavy defense, but without a mirror, it's going to be interesting to see how effective they're going to be able to hold on to that upstairs area. I mean, they have got a castle, and I'm expecting castles to go down an aquarium and on a sort of the VIP door, but we'll see.
Now they're doing some fair bit of droning out. This is something we commented about NiP on the previous map, where they do love to set up. They get all their drones in the right place, they shut down any potential rotations, and then they like to start to collapse after they've got a fair bit of information. And against a team like FaZe, who are happy to be quite aggressive on their defense, yeah, has mixed results. And again, this is a map where so far FaZe have been very confident in moving around and very confident in pushing, at least on their defense, you can say. But it seems like they are happy to start the rolling mountain, pushing in, pushing through VIP. Buck is going to move above, try to open up, get some assistance. PZD is moving around inside as well. They want to start pushing towards Cool Vibe stairs, but there is someone hanging around in billiards. Astro.
Who is going to be able to find the first fight, but he's going to lose it to PZD. Astro insanely close to try and get that frag, but PZD will take him down. And again, it's going to be the first frag of the round.
It's unfortunate when you obviously get dropped, but so far, I mean, to be fair, we were previously mentioning how FaZe can often kind of centralize a lot around Astro. They took it very cleanly in their previous defense. They were very much set up to deal with that NiP push, and we'll see if that translates. Now, a minute 15 left on the clock. Plenty of time for NiP to come up with a new strategy or a new push. It seems like Cameraman is going to push against the money and almost caught him completely there.
Almost got him completely smoked, but no cigar coming through there, as Claymores will go down to Cool Vibes. And we'll see exactly how they want to try and push this. NiP have pretty good, decent control here, and once you have that control, you can't start abusing it. And looks like Psycho will be doing just that.
Now Psycho is digging above Maestro in a very, very rock and a hard place there. Cameraman is waiting at the bottom of the stairs for Monty to start pushing again and again. These drones are coming in. They're closing it down. Kamikaze is going to look for this Cool Vibes firefight. Finds Castle, gets the drop on him and gets him dropped completely as Julio takes down Yuna.
Just goes straight for the ADS. Going to be all down to Mav and Moringa now in a 2v5 situation. Looking too good. PZD takes down Mav. It's all down to Moringa. What a shot from Moringa. Takes down PZD. Brings out the shotgun. He's actually going to down Kamikaze, but he gets pushed from two sides. Doesn't seem too likely he takes this. And no, Wag will shut him down. NiP take round number 7.
I think Cool Vibes is my favorite call in this entire game.
It's very cool.
It's very cool. It's very fun to shout out. And there are some that are less fun to shout out, but I'm not going to name those right now. But round 8, 4-3 in the favor of NiP. Obviously, those people who voted on Strafe must be a little bit concerned now, but there's still, it's a best of 5. So we have a lot of siege left in front of us. We are going to go back to Blue and Sunrise. Obviously, we've talked again about the importance of Astro now on the Jaeger, though could 6th pick off to Lesion again. Nope, going to stay on the Jaeger. Pulse is going to be bought by Mav instead, whether we're going to see a slightly different hold. Obviously, Monty is currently not on the board. Buck is swapped for Fuse, though.
Interesting Fuse pick coming up from Psycho. Not sure I agree with it, but I'm assuming they're expecting the Blue Bar Sunrise Bar defense, and if so, it could work out quite well for them.
There's a lot of destructibility there, obviously. They might expect them to be a little bit more conservative. They have Castle as well, FaZe's BFF. But again, Psycho. Psycho is one of those players who we've seen play operators when you go, how is this going to work? And then they make it work.
He's a maniac. They might call him a psycho.
I think there's a term for that. A maniac on the coastline dance floor, but Moringa is opening up the connector between Blue and Sunrise, giving themselves a little bit of rotation. They weren't really stressed from the horizontal play. It was generally all vertical, so you can see cameraman is generally setting up for that. But obviously, FaZe, he's a very noisy man, and you kind of got to be, you know, right place, right time for FaZe to pull off FaZe. Obviously, Jaeger has set up pretty deep inside. Aquarium seems like they're going to castle a lot of that off as well. They're going to try to hold this vertical aquarium for as long as possible. Whether Maestro is going up there, and they're just going to throw barbed wire there as well. They're desperate to cling onto this longer and sturdier than they did last time. But at the same time, how are NiP going to attack it? It seems like they're being very straightforward with their push. The diffuser is heading down on the horizontal. PZD is watching for any potential peaks or run out as the first castle gets blown open.
It's going to be all about that vertical control here for NiP. They're slowly going to be pushing cameraman out. And Astro and Eunice are going to be holding down onto Billiards, however. So there's still a lot of control here for FaZe, but they're still going to get droned out. And slowly pushed out here by NiP. But no shield this time from NiP. I got to say, it's a little bit confusing.
No shield. I guess they wanted to try to be more aggressive. I guess they assumed that FaZe would try to prepare against the shield if they're into the same point. But obviously, FaZe have done a slightly different game here where they're passing information. You can see the pulse being used brilliantly. They're feeding location, feeding all of that to those top floor holders, just saying, I've got someone here. This is where they're chilling. Cameraman is pushing a little bit into hookah, looking for any potential pick there. The F2 of PZD is trying to find the firefight against the Jaeger as well, but it is the C4 that locks off that Jackal.
Finally, that C4 coming out from Mav is going to be able to find Julio. That's a beautiful pick coming out from him. Indeed, it's going to be FaZe Clan in a 5v4 now, looking pretty good. As Unit is still locking out Aquarium Bar. Cameraman finds Kamikaze. It's going to be all down to a 5v3. Psycho just managed to find the first frag for NiP. However, instantly gets traded, however, from below. What just happened?
I'm not quite sure where that was from. PZD is looking for someone up there, but it was Astro, in fact, who got the instant return against the Fuse before he could even do his first pop.
Yeah, Astro is still going to be playing around there, but oh, he's going to find the kill against Wag. PZD takes down Yuna. He's going to have to find 3 more if he wants to bring this in. Does see Astro, but doesn't see Mav right behind him, takes him down. PZD goes down. FaZe Clan take right a break.
Now, all leveled, all scored, but this was exactly how it was in the previous, and then NiP went on to push for 2 rounds. Can FaZe find it in themselves to keep being able to swap back in what is so far a very back-and-forth coastline?
It has been a very back-and-forth coastline, but it's also been a very back-and-forth game overall. We'll see how it goes down as we do move out into round number 9, and just a couple of rounds away from either of these teams to lock out the map. Don't forget, it's a best-of-5 series, so even if NiP do take this map, they're still going to take 1 more if they want to take the series.
It's a best-of-5?
It is best-of-5.
Whoa, I love best-of-5s. Kitchen service entrance. Moringa bringing the smoke. Ella, Jaeger, Maestro, and Legion. Twitch. Ash, for the first time, is being rolled today by Psycho, who we said was probably the reason Ash was banned out in the previous map by FaZe. Blackbeard as well from Julio Hibana and Zofia. Pulse is being bought again by Mav. Obviously, we saw Pulse used very effectively in the previous round, feeding information to those top 4 players, letting them know when movements were coming and where movements were coming from. And then it allowed those brilliant fraggers upstairs to just take care of that.
We are going to see Maestro being brought here.
Milosh.
I will see how it does go down for FaZe Clan. We are going to defend the kitchen service entrance, and this was a very successful defense for them last time, but this is a very different lineup coming out from NiP.
Yeah, obviously, we've talked about Psycho on that Ash, who's a very capable entry fragger and very good at just getting control and getting in quickly, even against some of the best fraggers in the world. Psycho on an Ash can find those picks. Julio as well on the Blackbeard. It'll be interesting where they set that Blackbeard up. Kind of, I feel like they're going to try to get control of the penthouse above and then begin to try to push service. But at the same time, they've played operators in completely different positions before, and it's worked very well for them. So it's going to be a hard thing to predict. Cameraman is just going to be upstairs in penthouse alongside Yuna and Astro. 3 players currently upstairs.
3 players currently upstairs, and as I said, it's all about this vertical control, and for both teams, they've had such a heavy concentration on it so far. They've both been trying to push each other at that vertical play. They've both been trying to abuse it themselves, and successfully done so in quite a number of times. And also, Map playing on the pulse definitely escalates that.
Oh yeah, as we said, the pulse play from before from Mav was spot on, fed the information, really just kind of gave away a lot of what was going on. Currently playing on the point, again, looking for that vertical push just to feed it to Yuna and Astro, who are trying to hold on to penthouse for as long as possible. Cameraman has actually rotated down. The drones are coming out against Astro, going to find himself in a tighter and tighter spot. It's just going to rotate out of there into more drones.
Just going to rotate out there indeed. PCD going to be prone down in the hallway, just move all the way through. Julio does manage to find a little bit of a lesion mine there. He drops down into the bathroom. Really amazed that Kamikaze didn't find that. Oh, what a nitro from Map from below. What is that? Through the vertical play. And does manage to find almost a double kill there. Does manage to down Kamikaze, but more importantly, takes Julio off the board. And wow, that scared me. No idea how Nip felt doing that.
That was that's the Halloween game mode right there. Seeing the C4 come through the floor and knowing, uh-oh, I can't stop this. PCD finds Yuna in the meantime, takes the Maestro off the board. Very big pick, but Kamikaze obviously exceptionally injured. PCD is actually rotated to try to help back up the very injured Zofia. They do have time to go for a reset if they want, but Pulse is still down there, causing issues. Psycho going to start pushing down the stairs across that front reception area. Probably going to find Cameraman, but Astro finds Psycho first.
Beautiful pick coming out from Astro here, down into the lobby area. Still Mav on the board here, with a beautiful bit of intel coming out. No longer has the nitro available to him, but can give it that intel. PZ going to rock down the main stairs, but can't find the kill, but does. Beautiful pick onto Astro. Cameraman going to trade him out. However, PZ goes down. Now it's a 3v2, all down to Wag and Kamikaze. They still got a lot of utility on the board here. There's still plenty of time for them to work with here, but it is starting to tick down. Kamikaze need to try and use some vertical play here, as Wag does start to move in.
1 lesion would drop Kamikaze as well, so they have to be very particular about where they want to enter this point from. Obviously, Wag is just going to try and do most of the recon there, but their health is slowly dwindling as well. Bullets flying across the court line. There is some brilliant line shooting, and Wag is exceptionally injured, and there is the smoke dropping Kamikaze. Wag finds Cameraman with a beautiful pick there, rotating above 3 seconds, and Mav cleans up.
Mav will clean house of the FaZe clan onto match point here. Looking much, much better for FaZe here on coastline, but still 1 round for Nip to bring this into overtime. Yeah,
they have the potential. And again, these attack rounds have been back and forth. Both of them have had control of this map at various different points throughout it. Both of them are really bringing a game here. We go to Billiards and Hookah for the final defensive point. To be fair, it's anyone's game right now.
Talking about anyone's game, it's going to be Mav's game here so far. Doing beautifully for his team, getting a decent amount of intel during that last round as well. But that nitro was insane, and that may have just won them the round.
Oh yeah, the swap to Pulse there has really changed the tone of how FaZe are playing it and how they're wanting to pick up from it. And they're really starting to bring those extra levels and those extra dynamics to a defense that kind of needed them.
They kind of need it indeed. We'll see how it goes down, as we'll see Julio actually bring in the Ash this time. Very surprising pick from him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talk about a lot of the versatility of Nip and how they can rotate between strategies and defenders and attackers between the entire set of 5. They're a very capable team of doing that, but at the same time, Psycho has been an exceptional Ash player. Didn't really get off the ground in that previous round, got called out by some unfortunate rotations and, well, they weren't quite fully aware of what they were pushing into, but at the same time, hey, they're capable players. They're happy to rotate. We'll see if Julio can find that little bit extra to bring this into overtime.
There it is, go down, as we will see. 10 seconds to go. Round number 10 getting good away, and just 1 round away from Nip to bring this into overtime, but 1 round away, of course, as well, for FaZe to lock out the map and bring the series into a 1-1 scoreboard. There it goes down.
Oh, we can see obviously Moringa is digging the holes they had before. Mav is waiting at the door with the MP5. ACOG wants to catch someone, but Psycho just runs out of it. Doesn't actually get caught out by where Mav was looking, and Mav seems a little bit disappointed by that fact. Now hanging around with the ACOG, waiting and waiting and baiting. Cameraman is pulling away from officers underneath through a couple of Legion mines down there, goo mines, and is going to rotate upstairs again. You've got Astro and Moringa playing on the point currently. The Twitch is going round clearing house, and they've already entered. They're already pushing against that blue bar, or the sunrise bar even, and generally they've been a little bit slow getting it into the ground, so it's nice to actually see them. Mav is under a fair bit of pressure. They're going to have to dig themselves out and away towards the opening. Realizes, uh-oh, they're closing down, as Astro is just kind of waiting.
Kind of waiting indeed, and this is fairly similar strategy to what FaZe did the last time they took the site, but Nip again taking a very different lineup, especially Julio on the Ash. It's kind of a little bit confusing here, knowing his normal role and knowing that Ash doesn't really get played in comp that much because you tend to play comp for utility, and you'll see the Sophia over the Ash here.
Yep, Ash is one of those operators. I think when you see a world-class Ash player, you go, oh, that's why they've bought Ash. And Astro finds Kamikaze in the meantime. Unit is down in amongst this. That's the Maestro down. Doc has rotated around. Here comes Doc Mav. Gets the nice needle shot there. Gets Unit back and fighting. But Buck is still digging for blood that is dripping through those open vertical holes and finds the finish frag. Unit goes down to some pinpoint shooting there.
Great frag coming out from Psycho there, but Kamikaze already going down. He's going to spell a little bit of a disaster here for Nip because that's their only smokes off the board.
Yeah, that was a pretty critical frag to take care of. A minute left, and you can see Nip are trying to reevaluate how they can start doing this push. Obviously, there is still that Legion on the board, which has been pretty influential, but now there isn't.
Not going to be influential when you're dead,
no,
unfortunately, and that's going to be a 3v4 situation. I see how it's going to go down, but Nip looking much, much better now to try and bring this in, but haven't got too much utility on the board, and they're starting to run out of time.
Astro's digging those sight lines. Psycho is down from Astro on that far peak, and Wag is looking for a rotate to try to back it up. Julio and PZD. Well, PZD is actually closing down. Wag on the other side as well. They're going to try and pincer this vertical point. They only have 20 seconds. They have to start making a move. The barbed wire is making this revive a little bit harder than it has to be.
I got you.
He will drop the defuse accidentally there. Julian trying to move up to cool vibe. Smokes will go out. Oh, no. What about a rotation coming up from Astro at the wrong time? Goes down, and Julian runs into the site. He takes down one. It's going to be all down to Mav with a double kill. What? Astro does take down PZD from beyond the grave, and Mav does score the final kill. Beautiful coming out from FaZe. They take the map 6-4, and even the series out 1-1.
I believe it was I think it was a Legion that dropped Julio in the other room. Saw him fall down as we go through this old-timey video here of the Doctor. But we have a look at that spread. Mav 12-5. Really, really putting a game there.
Some great attempts coming out from Wag as well. Almost starting out the map with an ace clutch. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. It'll be FaZe Clan who take the map 6-4. We're going to take about a 3-minute commercial break here before we return with our third map. We'll be right back